Memoirs of a Grifter, a dramatic reconstruction based on recovered writings. You ever hear of the Mark place? No? Good. It's a place to avoid. Don't even let it enter your mind. Now don't look at me like that. I ain't saying it was cursed. I don't deal in curses. Curses are what fools blame when they forget to check the window latch. But I will tell you this. Some houses are not worth trouble. And the Mark house, that place was all trouble. Funny thing is, I didn't look like trouble. That's how trouble gets you. It sat out there past town, like any other respectable farm. Fields, fences, barns, animals, smoke from the chimney, if you came by early enough. Nothing grand, nothing gaudy. But the stories around town said different. Old family, private family, money tucked somewhere. Maybe cash, maybe silver, maybe old papers worth more than silver, if you knew who to sell them to. Now, I was never a burglar by trade. Don't make that face. There's a difference. A burglar climbs through the window. A grifter walks through the door. I prefer doors. But every profession has seasons. And there are times when a man of talent must broaden his methods. Besides, everybody knew Ian Mark went to church on Sundays. That was useful information, reliable information. And reliability, kid, is the backbone of dishonest work. So I watched the place. Not too close, never too close. You don't stare at a house you mean to cheat. You glance at it, like you're admiring the weather. Sunday came, Ian left. Workers gone. Farm quiet. Opportunity, as they say, had put on its Sunday shoes. I came in low along the back fence, neat as a whisper, and made it maybe 20 paces before the dog appeared. Now, I don't mean it came running. Father, Ian, both were forever changed by what? That would have been fair. I mean, it appeared. Big dog, farm dog, the kind that shoulders like a barrel and face suggests it has already buried 3 men and found all of them land. It didn't bark at first, just looked at me. That was worse. The bark gives a man choices. A stare makes him review his life. Then it gave a low growl, and I decided right then the Mark family could keep whatever cash they had hidden near this particular fence. No shame in that. Dogs are honest security. I respect dogs. So I left. Came back next Sunday. Different right. That's the lesson. Never argue with a dog when geography is available. This time I came around near the side pasture. Slower, smarter, better shoes. You're smiling? Don't. A good shoe is half a plan. I got close enough to see the corner of the house, only 50 yards, and I'd be looking at the windows. Then I heard, soft at first, a little hiss. Now, a hiss in the dark is one of those sounds that makes a man's soul step outside his body and wait for instructions. I looked down. Geese. Not one, not two, a committee. You ever been judged by a goose? No? Then your education isn't complete. They came at me like they had voted on it. Wings out, necks low, hissing like broken steam pipes. I backed away with dignity, then retreated with less dignity. Then I ran. By the time I reached the ditch, dignity and I were no longer on speaking terms. Lost a hat that day. Good hat, too. Brown felt. Never saw it again. Maybe the geese wore it to celebrate. Now, at this point, any sensible man would say, there are easier houses. But I was younger then, and pride is just stupidity in clean shirts. Third time, I avoided the dog and the geese. See? Professional. I went through the cow field. Cows don't concern me. A cow is not a guard animal. A cow has no passion for law enforcement. That's what I believe. And for the first few minutes, the cows supported my theory. They chewed, they breathed, they stared with the empty patience of creatures who knew secrets but lacked the ambition to use them. Then one moved in front of me, so I moved left. Another cow moved left. I moved right. Two more drifted right. Not quick, nothing dramatic, just slow, heavy, inconvenient relocation, like furniture with opinions. I tried to circle wide. They circled wider. I stopped. They stopped. I looked at them. They looked at me. Now, I ain't saying those cows understood trespass, but I am saying one of them nudged me back towards the road with the confidence of a hired man escorting a drunk out of a saloon. That one bothered me. Not enough to quit, but enough to remember. Fourth attempt was at night. Moon low, clouds kind. I thought, animals sleep. That was my mistake. Chickens do not sleep in a way useful to criminals. I slipped near the hen house, quiet as sin, and something, I still don't know what, gave way. A latch maybe. Loose board? My sleeve caught on a wire? Could have been anything. All I know is 1 second I was a shadow with a plan. And the next, I was standing in the middle of a poultry uprising. Chickens everywhere, flapping, squawking, crashing into each other, crashing into me, crashing into things that hadn't done nothing wrong. And then came the rooster. Now listen careful. A rooster is not a chicken. A chicken panics. A rooster commits. The bird came at me like I owed him money. I have dealt with knife men more reasonable than that rooster. He hit my boot first, then my shin. Then he went for territory no honest storyteller should describe in detail. I left by way of a fence. I don't remember climbing. Tore my coat, lost a button. Kept my honor only because nobody saw it happen. Probably. Fifth time, I took precautions. I learned from my mistakes. I bought feed. That's right, feed. A small sack of corn for distraction. I figured if the animals wanted to participate in the evening, I would hire them to stand elsewhere. Don't laugh, it was a sound idea. I tossed the corn toward the far side of the yard and waited. Chickens went for it, good. Geese went for it, better. I turned. A barn cat, thin, gray thing, sat directly in the path I needed. Just sat there. I stepped left. It looked left. I stepped right. It looked right. I whispered, move. It blinked. You ever lose negotiation to a cat? Of course you have. Everybody has. But this one had timing. Behind me, the dog started barking. Maybe it smelt me. Maybe the cat told him. I don't know. I left again. No profit, less corn. Sixth time, I waited longer. Patience, kid. That's the difference between a thief and a fool. A fool rushes. A professional waits until the universe gets bored. I waited behind a stone wall, nearly 2 hours. No dog, no geese, no cat, no rooster. House quiet, barn quiet. Even the wind had the decency to mind its own business. I moved. 3 steps in, something splashed cold water down my back. Rain barrel, loose gutter, rotted boards, I don't know. Could have been perfectly natural. Probably was. The cold water down the collar of a man trying to be invisible will produce language even Baptists cannot forgive. I cursed. The horse heard me. The horse startled. The horse kicked the side of the stall. The dog barked. The geese answered. The chickens objected. Somewhere in the dark, that rooster expressed professional interest. And there I was, again, fleeing a farm that had not yet technically noticed me. That was when I first thought, maybe this place and I are not compatible. Not magic, not ghosts. Don't put words in my mouth. Just incompatible. Seventh attempt. I nearly quit before I started. I stood by the road that Sunday, watching Ian's wagon disappear towards church. Clear day, good light. Workers away, best chance yet. Still, I didn't like it. That's important. You live long enough in my line, you learn the value of discomfort. A bad feeling is not always fear. Sometimes it's arithmetic done by the bones. Still, pride pushed. I went in through the orchard. Apples not yet ripe, grass high, nice cover. I made better distance that day than ever before. Halfway to the house, maybe more. Then bees. Not a swarm. Don't make it grander than what it was. Just enough bees to make me rethink the benefits of wealth. I stepped back. They followed. I stepped sideways. They followed better. I told myself bees follow scent, not moral failure. That comfort lasted until I stepped directly into a muddy rut and lost one shoe. Now, a man can run from bees, and a man can limp from mud. A man can preserve dignity through either trial alone. Together, no. I abandoned the shoe. Never rob a house that costs footwear before entry. But now I had a list. Dog, geese, cows, rooster, cat, horse, water, bees, mud. Individually, nothing. Together, that's when a man with brains starts respecting patterns. Eighth time was the last. Not because it was the worst. That's the funny part. It wasn't. No grand disaster, no lightning, no mysterious voice, no pale figure in an upstairs window, nothing worth putting in a penny. It was quiet. Too quiet for my liking, but quiet all the same. I came from the far edge near the trees, slow, careful. I knew where the dogs slept. I knew where the geese wandered. I knew how far the rooster could chase before his pride outran his legs. I had learned that farm like a man learns a card table, and for a moment I thought I had it beat. Then I heard a soft little cluck. Just one. One chicken near the fence. That was all. A chicken. A stupid, ordinary chicken. It looked at me. I looked at it. And something inside me said, nope. That was the word. Not aloud. Not dramatic. Just plain as the church bell. Nope. I could have kept going. Maybe nothing would have happened. Maybe that chicken was only a chicken. I worn myself down into cowardice. But standing there, with the house ahead and the field behind, I understood something I had been too proud to admit. I was never robbing that place. Not that night, not next Sunday, not ever. Some houses got locks, some got dogs, some got men with shotguns. The Marx place, best I figure, it had arrangements. With what, I couldn't say. Nature, maybe. Bad luck. My conscious finally growing teeth? Who knows? Years later, I can laugh at it. I do laugh at it. A rooster nearly ended my criminal ambitions. That's funny no matter how respectable I try to sound. But every time I tell this story, somebody asks the same question. Was it all in your head? Maybe. Maybe I was nervous. Maybe I exaggerated. Maybe there was never hidden money at all, and the whole town had played a fine joke on a man who thought himself too clever. Could be, but I tell you this. If you walked in here tonight and laid a fat roll of bills on the table and said, "Lucky, go back to the Marx farm and try just once more," I'd smile. I'd thank you kindly, and I would remain with great conviction poor. Because even now, after all these years, when I think about crossing that fence again, I feel the hair rise on the back of my neck, and I remember that chicken just standing there like it already knew.